Ghostbusters is a story about four very smart outsiders who believe in the paranormal, believe in ghosts, everyone thinks they're crazy, and then suddenly they are proven to be right and they end up saving the world. I've worked with Melissa and Kristen before, and I hadn't worked with Kate or Leslie, but I'm a big fan of their work. And when I put this together, I actually didn't even audition people for it. I just was going through a lot of different faces and voices and people's kind of resumes in my head, and very quickly said, okay, these people have four very distinct comedic voices, and I think these will all mesh together. And then when we brought them together, the chemistry was just insanely good. Every day is hard work, but it's really fun hard work because we're all professionals and we all really want to make sure we're at the top of our game and doing our best work, and yet still keeping it very natural and real. But we laugh a lot, and I'm sort of the worst perpetrator of ruining takes because they'll be in the middle of something and I'll burst out laughing and just ruin everything. So they always move me further and further away from the set. The air went out of the room a little bit when Chris Hemsworth walks onto your set. We'd already been shooting about 6 weeks, and it's always odd when like a new person comes in because you just hope they're gonna kind of mesh with everybody and their chemistry will be right. And he came in and was so funny and surprised everybody. I mean, the first scene we were doing with him was his interview scene with the ladies, and suddenly he's just started improvising jokes, and the ladies looked at me like, "Did you write that for him?" I was like, "He's off book. He's going for it." And who knew that he could be that funny? I knew he'd be funny, but I didn't think he could be hilarious. VFX kind of evolve as you do them. You definitely have the look you want, and then you work with a team of artists who then do concept drawings, and so you kind of get to where you think it's going to be that. But then as you start shooting the scenes with the actors and seeing how they're playing it and then seeing the environments, then you do start to morph it a little bit to make sure that it works the best and it's the funniest, but it's also scary. And I loved it because you got to work with this amazing team of artists and headed up by Pete Travers, our special effects supervisor. And just, for him to wrangle all these amazingly talented VFX houses all over the world who are doing different sequences and different shots for us, that was really fun. It was a challenge because I've never done that before, and it's a leap of faith sometimes because you're waiting for things to come in and you're guiding them, but you're still waiting for them to show up. But when they show up and they're perfect, or they're even different than you thought in a way that just surprises you and makes you so happy, that was really exciting. So I have to say, I think I'd like to do that kind of thing again. I really didn't want my actors acting with tennis balls and look at that X on the wall against that green screen. I need, for comedy, I need to have them having interaction. I need to see, there's nothing. The human face just reacts differently when it's talking to another person versus if I was just looking off into the air and talking right now. I would look different. And for comedy, then they also need that interaction. And by hiring these really talented actors to play the ghosts and putting them in full makeup and full costume, but then augmenting them with these LED light suits that would add light interaction onto the actors and the environments, and then we augment that with CG. It just made the whole experience feel like they were actually encountering a ghost. Ghostbusters was something I saw the opening night that it came out, and I was in film school at the time, and I'd never seen a comedy like that before because I loved comedy, but I'd never seen a comedy with that big of scope and the fact that it had special effects in it. And it was a bit of a passion for me of going like, I need to figure out how to do something like that. What I didn't expect is I would actually be doing that exact movie. But it was such a thrill because then here's this existing property, and yet at the same time, now we can make it our own. And Katie Dippold and I were allowed to then create a new origin story for it and find the new seeds of where the various iconic things like the Ecto-1 and the proton packs and the logo and all that come from. That was really fun. I'm just excited for people to see how much fun the movie is and what a nice mix it is of character comedy and just relatable friendship stories, and yet in the context of this enormous world with this enormous ghost threat that is both scary but fun to watch, and high stakes but still enough where you can still laugh through it but feel invested and feel that it's real. This movie is really for everyone. I mean, there are some scary parts, so maybe like the youngest of the young kids might be nervous, but a friend of mine brought his 6-year-old and she loved it last night. So I really feel it's for everybody because, it's got humor that adults love, but it's got things that kids will really have fun watching. So it's really from 8 to 80 Well, no, that's not even stop at 80. 8 to 180 if you really got good genes.